Hey guys, I'm David, the founder of Ultimate Survival Tips and the host of the Survival Show podcast. I'm glad you're here as we continue our 11-part knife making 101 training series with lesson number 2, how to turn your file into knife steel. If you've missed lesson number 1, knife making gear and supplies, click the link on your screen or in the description to be magically transported to the first video in this series. Now before we get into this lesson, make sure you smash that like button so you don't miss out on any of the lessons in this video series, and go grab the outline, notes, and materials checklist for this course for free at ultimatesurvivaltips.com/knife making 101. All right, let's get into lesson number 2, how to turn your file into knife steel. All right, guys, so we're in Joe's shop. Nice shop, man.
Hey, thanks, man. I cleaned it just for you.
I always feel right at home in here.
You're the one who comes and messes it all up.
All right, so in this video, we're gonna make, this is the first step for our knife, right?
Yeah, we're gonna make a file knife. We're gonna make this into this, and this is step 1 of how to make this into that.
Yep. So to do that, we're going to take that file and we're gonna essentially deheat treat it, right?
Right.
And that's called what?
Annealing. This file is very, very hard right now. It's a file, so you use a metal file to cut into other metal. There's no way that we would be able to work with this file using sanders or grinders or even like hacksaws. We would just wreck all of our equipment. So we need to take this very hard steel and make it soft so that we can work with it. And we're going to use some tools to do that.
Okay. Let's go through our tool list then and our gear list. For this particular lesson.
For this particular lesson, we're going to use this forge. And that's a really cheap 5-gallon paint can forge that I made for less than 25 bucks. You could use a forge that you put together out of fire brick. A couple other different ways that you can make a forge.
Or you can spend $150 on a forge like I did.
You could do that. And that would be a little bit faster. This forge is not as fast as what your forge is.
It's efficiency, but...
Yeah, mine only costs 25 bucks. Here's where we are going to want to spend some money if we're going to have a forge like this. Is, well, this Bushcraft torch. It's a regulated torch, and you will be able to get up to temperature with this torch. You will not be able to get up to temperature with a standard, ordinary torch like this. Trust us, we've both tried it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So using this Bushcraft torch is going to be a necessity. You will also need some tongs or some pliers or a pipe wrench to be able to handle your steel.
Because it's going to be very hot.
It will.
How hot, Joe?
At least 15 to 50.
Because it'll burn your face off.
Burn your face off. Don't be afraid of it when it gets really hot like that. But it will burn your face off.
Respect it.
Be very careful,
Yeah.
Respect it. You're going to need a magnet. This is a magnet. This is a magnet. Any old magnet will do. That's what you're going to use to test whether your steel is ready or not, because we do not have a thermometer.
Right.
So we're going to use a magnet to do that.
And so like when it goes one way or the other, it's magnetic or non-magnetic, right?
True. Once it gets up to temp, it's going to be non-magnetic. So when that is up to non-magnetic and you're tapping it against the magnet, then you're ready to anneal after that.
Good. Safety equipment?
Gloves, glasses, you won't necessarily need an eye pro or a respirator or anything for this.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys, let's get started. So what we are going to do is, we've got that forge heating up. You can take some time to let the forge heat up, get up to temperature, but I'm going to be a little bit less patient. I'm going to get my brick set up. I'm taking my time. I want to make sure that I get this piece of steel set in there really well, and that flame is right on that steel. Again, the whole idea of the annealing process is to get this up to temperature and then cool it very slowly. This is the opposite of heat treating it. When we heat treat it to make it hard again, we're going to get it up to temperature and then cool it off very quickly. But here, we're going to slowly cool it down. A couple of tricks to doing that. One is to use perlite. I've got Grandma's canning jar full of perlite over here. This is the white stuff that you'll find in potting soil. It's got great properties that will cool that metal down. You could also use wood ashes, probably coal ashes as well. Another neat trick that you could do is while you've got your forge going, you can build a campfire in your backyard and cook some marshmallows. After taking this out of the forge, once it's up to temperature, you can throw that right into your fire and let the fire die out overnight. That will cool it off very, very slowly as well. It'll probably take 5 or 6 minutes to get this up to temperature. So I'm gonna come around there and keep an eye on it and checking it. All right, so to keep as much heat in there as possible, you can fill this up. We'll cover up as much as you're opening with brick. Hey, we're looking at it from the other side now. Our file is a little bit longer than our 5-gallon paint can, so I'm going to rig it up so that our forge has a little bit more depth. Okay, so we have our file in the forge right now, and we're going to check to see how it's doing. You can have a good idea when it gets to be orange. Orange is red. You can take a look in there. Part of that file is probably up to temperature. I'm going to keep moving that back and forth because we only have one torch flame going down on it. Once we get to the stage that we're getting close, we're going to have to actually manually move this back and forth underneath of that flame so it stays up to temperature. Yeah, that one spot's definitely up to temp. We're going to have to keep moving this back and forth. And what we're going to actually want to do is we want to get that back towards the tang definitely tempered, annealed down too. So I'm just continuing to move that in. So we've had this file in there for probably 6 or 7 minutes. It's a pretty large file, it's a pretty thick file. This isn't going to happen immediately, right? You're going to be spending 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes. And I really want to focus on getting the part back towards the tang annealed, because I'm going to make probably a 3 or 4, maybe 4.5 inch blade. So we especially want to make sure that the back half of that file is annealed and ready to work. Once you can see how that's, I'm going to just kind of move this back and forth like this and try to get that all up to temp in there. This part you want to be careful. Definitely wear gloves if you've got a shorter set of pliers. I'm going to bring this out in a second and check for magnetism. Got my magnet right here. Alright guys, so I'm moving this back and forth underneath of the flame. I'm going to bring this out and I'm going to check for magnetism. If it is non-magnetic, I'm going to go right into the perlite, which is over here. And that will start the slowly cooling down of the annealing process. I'm going to make sure I have a really good grip on it. It's going to come out. Alright, we're non-magnetic. And now that is in the perlite, and that is going to cool probably overnight. And we can come back and work on it tomorrow. All right, so our file is annealing. We'll be able to come back and start shaping that out so it starts to look like a knife in the next lesson.
We've just taken a look at how to anneal your file so that you can start making it into a knife. Join me next time for lesson number 3 in this series, where you're going to start shaping your file into a knife. For your convenience, I've placed a link to the full knife making course outline PDF with bonus notes and materials checklist above in the description, or at ultimatesurvivaltips.com/knife making 101 for a limited time. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of the lessons in this 11-part video series. All right, everybody, I think that's about it. Until next time, I hope to see you on the other side, and remember, be prepared because you never know.